Hello everyone from the last third day of All-Star Weekend. Today, we have an All-Star match with you, and according to tradition, I suggest not to delay the introduction and move on to the most basic. Don't forget to put your thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. The final day started unexpectedly with the draft. Giannis and Lebron this year picked their players right before the start of the match itself, and not a few days before the launch of the All-Star game. And of the remarkable things here, only a couple of points can be noted. Firstly, the captains chose reservists first, where Giannis recruited Lillard, Holiday, Shea, DeMar, Pascal, Adebayo, and Sabonis, and LeBron took Edwards, Brown, George, Halliburton, Randall, Fox, and Jackson under his wing. And secondly, it all ended, of course, with a set of starters. Giannis chose Tatum, Morant, Donovan, Mark Cannon, and LeBron took Embiid, Irving, Doncic, Jokic, who in fact did not wait at all for James to call his name and invite him to his place. And he modestly stood up, patted the Laker legend on the shoulder, and said, "Bro, I'm playing with you, so you don't have to call me." Now, let's move on to the match itself. The first quarter, I must say, passed without any super outstanding episodes at all. By and large, it was a friendly training session where everyone played on the lawn, and they especially did not try to show. Not just a competitive game, but even some kind of show. Giannis, for example, went out on the parquet floor and scored only 2 effective actions, 1 dunk and 1 foul. Then I immediately went to the jar. It is clear why, because it is still necessary to recover from damage. But on the other hand, it was possible to somehow rotate it and give someone else the opportunity to play on this all-star. But no, it didn't happen. Otherwise, the main players of the first segment were mostly just 2 people. This is LeBron, who also beat dunks after alley-oop, and he threw himself from the shield and long shot scored. From the Giannis collective, Jayson Tatum was such a guy. He almost always tried to immediately formalize a response to LeBron in the next attack. Well, the rest is like everything. When reservists appeared on the parquet, it became quite stuffy. There weren't even any dunks in particular. Therefore, I think it is not worth focusing on this particular attention. With the final score 46, the first 12 minutes ends. The most productive players are on your screen. Well, we move on. The second segment was held in approximately the same way. Only thing that has changed is the highlighter. Now, Jay Morant tried to respond to all the powerful dunks of James, which were enough from the 38-year-old Lakers star in the Giannis team to a greater extent. There was even an episode when, in isolation, he decided to try to give from above from under his feet, but the ball treacherously fell out of his hands and did not reach his goal. Well, also when Mark Cannon also almost realized the mill after alley-oop, but as you have already understood, neither one nor the second throw was scored by the players, and it made me a little sad. Otherwise, the quarter was almost identical to the first, with the only difference that the score was now not equal, but with a 7-point advantage in the direction of the Giannis team, as well as, strictly speaking, the total score. The best players, in the same way, are looking at you right now. Moving on, quarter number 3, she's a sniper duel. It should be noted right away, during the big break, the broadcast director showed us a modest inscription. LeBron is out for the rest of the match. So get an all-star match right away without 2 captains in the second half. Like this, the situation is frankly not very good, especially considering the conditional James Harden or Anthony Davis, who were not invited to the weekend at all, and they didn't get on it. Well, okay, the replacement of the departed stars, if anything, was found quickly enough in the composition of both teams. Jayson Tatum took the initiative into his own hands and gave as many as 7 3-pointers in 1 quarter, with 5 of which he scored in a row at all. We do not take into account that there were big problems with the protection there, or rather, it did not exist at all. But if anything, the times of Kobe are long ago over and no one breaks their hands at such matches. Everyone just comes to play and get high. On the part of LeBron's team, Kyrie Irving and Joel Embiid were probably the most active, who also joined the throwing challenge. Well, it is impossible not to note since we're talking about long-range shots. Of course, Donovan Mitchell and Damian Lillard. Damian even spat 1 super long shot from his own half, scored it, then even tried to repeat this throw, but then he missed. The third 12-minute game ended with a 1-on-1, JDD and JB. They staged a real shootout, some kind of competitive fight. Each managed to score 1 long-range shot through each other, and with a total score of 158-141, the teams reached the final part of the All-Star match. Tatum had 44 points in the asset, if anything, and only 8 points remained for Tatum to score before the record of all-star matches and performance owned by Anthony Davis. For those who forgot, let me remind you, the overall score in the matches was conducted for a reason. For 24 points are added to the maximum in honor of Kobe Bryant, and whose team overcomes the bar. In our case, it is 182 points. He wins accordingly. From the point of view of the game playlist, the final segment did not differ at all from the previous one. It was all exactly basically the same three-point contest. At the same time, Tatum, Halliburton, and Damian took part in it to a greater extent. All those who participated in the contest yesterday, and having scored 2 goals plus 1 shot from a penalty, Tatum beats Davis's achievement and becomes the most productive guy in the history of All-Star match. Now the record belongs fully to him. He's equal to 55 points, as well as the MVU in the All-Star match belongs to him. Well, of course it was predictable, or the Kobe Bryant Award. If anything, the duel was closed with a victorious three-point throw from Damian Lillard. In general, those who watched the match probably noticed that absolutely everyone tried to close this game with super long-range throws, but nothing came of it. Therefore, Lillard just spat the usual three-point inner, and this is basically the end of the All-Star weekend. Finally, I will throw in purely my petty discontent. The match itself was normal in my opinion. They have been like this almost all the last years. There is nothing to be surprised about, but its participants personally raise questions for me. Take Holiday and De'Aaron Fox, for example. The guys played for 9 minutes. That is the least of all in general, and scored 0 points. The second 3. The question of what the hell at least Harden could not replace one of them is unclear. Moreover, he expressed such discontent, like all in general with these all-stars. I will not appear here at all anymore. I am offended, in short. Well, you must agree, this is fair in principle, especially seeing the effectiveness of Holiday and Fox. Very strange. Otherwise, there is no question. The all-star match was the same as usual, and there is nothing more to add. In principle, in the comments, we just need to find out your opinion about the all-star match that happened. To be honest, I'll tell you my opinion. I liked everything in principle. Out of 5 points, I would put a solid 4. I liked the contests. The celebrity match was not surprised by anything, especially as with the match of rising stars. Well, the all-star game, which becomes the quintessence of this whole event, looked about exactly the same as all the other previous matches of the stars of the last 5 years. Therefore, there is nothing to be surprised about. In general, write what you think about all this in the comments. Also, do not forget to give a thumbs up. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel. Pencil Sports was with you. Good luck and bye.